Hey guys, welcome back to the shop today. Got a fun video. I'm working on my personal van, so we're going to be removing this roof rack and we're going to be installing this roof rack, which is AVC Rigs Transit Low Roof Rack V2. From working on vans, it's actually been challenging to find one that fits a low roof and one that looks just like this. So I went to Adventure Van Expo in Colorado, and that's a video that's on the channel. And I did, I was checking out a van that AVC Rig had, and I really liked that their roof rack incorporated a wider width. So one reason that's important is, if I come over here, so today's video is going to be talking about this roof rack. Where is the measuring tape? So we're going to replace the one that I did a DIY version. One reason I want to film me taking it off the top of the van is because if you want to do what I did for the DIY roof rack, it's using Unistrut from like Lowe's or Home Depot. I think it's a really good way to DIY a roof rack. And I didn't make a video on it when I installed it, so you guys get to have like a taste of the components I'm using and how simple it is to install. And then you're going to see at the same time a roof rack that I think, just from my experience, works better. The reason that it works better is the one that I currently install or have installed on vans is the Flatline Vanco roof rack, and I really like it. But if you guys have looked at some other videos that I've done, if you're not, let's see, let me type this up. If you're doing a roof rack and you're not going to put a lot of solar panels on top of the roof rack, then the Flatline Vanco roof rack is great because I think it looks really good. But if we go to transit and we go to roof racks, for example, I've put these on two vans. I put it on Glacier, so the Low Pro 1.0 roof rack is on Glacier. That's a Ford Transit High Roof 148. The second one I installed was the Low Pro Roof Rack 2.0 on a mid roof. So this one right here is the one I did on Glacier, and this is the one I did on Thomas's van, Marine 1. And this roof rack, again, I think it looks great. That's what it looks like. But when you get a Flatline Vanco roof rack, if you're only going to do like 2 solar panels and you're going to do them in a kind of a perpendicular direction, so this way, as opposed to up and down width-wise, you're going to be fine. The challenge is the usable width on these is 57.3, and for example, a Renogy solar panel that I'm going to be putting on my van, I've got 2 extra ones that I didn't use on a van build, and these are 53 inches. So they will fit on this one. However, I want some additional space so that I can, for my personal van, I need it to be 60 inches or more. And so if we come over here to the, this is the package that came from AVC Rig. I've got 60.25 inches. So I go from 57.3 to 60.25. And let me show you why that's important. So what I'm trying to do on my van is maximize the solar. And we're gonna try to copy the Unaka Gearo roof rack. So this is the one that we put on John and Susan's van. We put on high roof. Here we go. Okay, so we put on the Explorers.life edition. So this is a collaboration they did with Nate from Explorers.life. And what's really nice about that is max solar panel width is 59 5/8. Actually, no, back up. Where is, here. 58 7/10. So technically, this one that I'm doing from AVC rig is wider. Long story short, what I'm trying to do, where's their photos? Okay, this is not, they changed the landing page. 1 second. I don't know why they did that. They changed the website and it's not showing the photo I'm trying to show you guys. I don't know why they would do that. They took away the really good photo they had on their website. That is weird. Such a good photo. Okay, let me go dig. Let me dig to find the photo here. And this is going to be a very long stream today, so if you guys have a question, feel free to answer it in the chat. Okay, so that's so weird. That's so interesting to me. If you have good photos for your product, keep them on the website. They redid it and focused on the layouts, which is important. But the awesome photo that was on here for Explorers.life edition 148 is gone. This is the photo that they had. Okay, so if you guys can see this over here, there we go. So this roof rack, go on their website. I'm trying to get a really nice photo. There we go. What is going on here? Okay. That is the photo. This is the photo that was on this website. So Unaka, you need to put that photo back up because this is the whole reason you're buying that roof rack. So what I'm trying to do is, as you can see here, the Unaka roof rack that I really like, they partnered with Explorers.life and they collaborated to these two solar panel sizes back here. These got custom made from Rich Solar. So these 200 watt panels, this is a standard panel. So those Rich Solar panels, you can buy them from Explorers.life. Anyway, the point is, I want to use these two right here. But if I have a Flatline Vanco roof rack, it's not wide enough to take in consideration the max fan, so I need that width. What's a bonus is the AVC roof rack is even bigger than the Unaka Gear Company one. So where this one's 58 and 11/16, the AVC rig one is 60.25. So what's cool about that is
welcome to Unaka Gear Co. Today we're going to teach you guys how to install our
okay, so yeah, the rich solar panels. Here we go. So we're looking for the 200 watt panels. Okay, so Mega 200. So we want 12 volt and we want 200 watt. Okay, so this is the one. There we go. So these panels, if we click on them, we've got 58.7. And what's so nice about that is 58.7, you're going to be able to use this on the Unaka roof rack, but then also, so the 58.7, this is 58 and 7/10. So this is exact. So this roof rack and this solar panel are a perfect fit. The AVC rig one that I'm putting in, I'll have a 1/4 of an inch, just a little over a 1/4 inch to play with, and that's pretty cool. For a low roof, again, the whole challenge is this is my van, or essentially the same van, and finding a roof rack for a low roof van that looks good is challenging. AVC rig has it. They're sold out of the 148 right now, but yeah. Long story short, this is the setup. The other reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to locate where I'm moving my max fan. So what I have here is I've got the max fan on the back of the van. I'm replacing that max fan with a Dometic RTX 2000 unit. And then I'm going to move that. I'm going to buy a new max fan. That one's pretty old. And I'm going to put it right here. So, and actually it's going to go probably right here. So what I need to do today is, one, remove this roof rack, show you guys how I did this if you want to do a DIY, install the AVC rig, and then start to tape off and mark where the new cutout for the max fan is going to be. I won't do that today, but I'm just kind of planning ahead because I've got 4 solar panels in the shop. I've got 2 100 watt Renogy's, and then I've got 2 175 watt Renogy's. If they're not going to fit the way I want, then I'm going to buy the rich solar panels. And then once I know where the max fan is going to go in its new location, I'll measure the ones that flank the left and right side of the max fan, and then I'll kind of move that up because it's possible that I don't know what the roof rack is going to look like. So it might be possible that I can move it up so far that the max fan goes from here to maybe all the way up here at the very front of the van, and I can really add more solar panels. Really trying to max that out on top of this roof. The other reason that I'm doing that is a benefit of the low roof is you have more roof. When you have a high roof van, that peak curve comes about right here, and that's your limit of what you can mount on your van. So a 148-inch low roof has more usable space. I've already ran my solar wires because this already had a solar panel, had two 100-watt panels up here, but I took them off to use them for something else. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today. We're just hanging out, and we're gonna do this whole process of taking this off and putting a new one on. And then if we want and have room, I might order these panels depending on how much room I got. Secondly, there is another panel. I think it's the, it is the, so he keeps linking that. All right, let me try to find where. Trying to get to this web page. See, maybe his YouTube channel will have this. I actually bought the solar panels through Nate's website. Okay, there we go. So see how, if you go to, there's a 250 and 100, but you want to find these ones that they've custom made, and that is these two, the 35 watt and the 55 watt. So the 55 watt is the one that goes on the left and right hand side of the max fan. So this is pretty much where you get it. All right, let's start taking the van apart. Let me get some tools. Give me 1 second. Okay. So this roof rack I have up here that I built this, I guess almost 4 years ago. This is made out of painted unistrut. So unistrut is what you use for conduit boxes. So if you have a warehouse, these poles will be mounted vertically on a wall in a warehouse, and then you'll have these different pieces. I'll show you a detail when I take this off later. But you'll have these pieces that interconnect and lock into this channel, and breaker boxes, electrical conduit, unistrut is what is used to, universally mount all kinds of different components. I don't think that's what the uni part means, but it's an easy way to explain it. All right, so the first two things that I have is this up here. You can see how this is covered with a surfboard. Like it protects roof racks from like surfboards and stuff like that. I put that on there because I was having a whistling sound, and I put these on there. They fit actually perfect, and they made the whistling sound go away. So that's what they're up here. Plus, I thought they looked pretty cool. So we get two of these bars, and the nice thing is you can put these bars you can put them anywhere on the roof that you want to. And believe it or not, I only have 4 mounting points for all these rails, and the unistrut is so rigid that I got this coming off of a foot, and it doesn't flex at all. A downside of unistrut is it's extremely heavy. Also, this unistrut, I think it's 8 feet, maybe it's 8 feet long, or maybe 10 feet. And I didn't cut it. It's just the same height as it comes from the store. And if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat, and I'll hop over there and answer them. This right here, these are little eye hooks that I just put them in here, and I think I forgot what the thread pitch is, but then you've got these little inserts with this little plastic piece, and I know you can't see it, but I'll show you this to you in just a second. But basically, you have these, they're like a T-nut for 80/20, but it's the same thing for unistrut, and it's just more chunky. So I'll show you what we're working with. So this is that piece. So just an eyelet, and then you've got this piece right here. The plastic makes it so it doesn't move around. So the plastic will actually compress and hold it in there so it doesn't work its way out. But these little, they're just, so if I take the plastic off, they're just like a T-nut in 80/20, except they're made for the unistrut. So you can use the unistrut if you want to. But we got a bunch of those to take off. Got some other things up here. I've got these little conduit pieces, and I made a roof rack extension for these. So I used a metal conduit, and I went through here to the other side, and they stuck out, and then I took a tarp and wrapped it on it. So that was my awning. It's a little budget way to make an awning. Worked pretty good. I used an REI tarp. So these, I'm just going to, you can also buy these end caps, and then I just silicone them in. You can paint them black, but it just, it just fades away. It doesn't stay that way. Yeah, so pretty much just gonna go down the line and get these eye hooks out first. If you guys have seen in the other videos, I've got a bunch of videos on how to, we're going to show you how to heat and take off these little caps. So believe it or not, if you haven't watched any roof rack videos, the Ford Transit already has pre-installed roof rack mounting points. Just for like contractors and stuff like that. And then you can actually, if you're not worried about aesthetics, you can let the dog out here. If you're not worried about aesthetics, you can use contractor roof racks, ladder racks. Sometimes they are cheaper than these custom roof racks that we show in the channel for vans and van life in general. They may look odd, but you know, that's some stuff that if you're a DIYer, maybe you find one that's used, you can repurpose it on the roof of your van. Something to think about, give you some more options. Now the bolts that I'm taking off, these are 9/16. And the interior bolts that I'm using are 1/2 inch. And then these bottom pieces, they just slide. So if you can imagine if this was a, had a piece of conduit in it, this is how electrical contractors support the electrical conduit when they run it through buildings, warehouses, stuff like that. So these things can slide wherever they need it to be. It's definitely overkill for a roof of a van, but I've got the live chat pulled up on my phone, so if you guys have any questions, I'll be able to see it come in. So feel free to ask away. Okay, next step is getting out these 2 bolts. So I've only got 2. Again, these bolts are 1/2 inch, so we'll just change our ratchet up here. And this rack was installed before I pretty much knew anything about roof racks. So I've got shims and rubber bushings and tons of Loctite and all kinds of stuff underneath here. But to be honest, it worked out really well. The reason I use the rubber is the Ford Transit roof has a crown to it. I'm sure all vans have a crown to the roof. But that'll make these turn, and you need some type of rubber seal that it can actually make up for that angle if you decide to do it this way. So what I did is I installed these, did the crossbars to make it square, and then I came back and then finally tightened these down. Because if I tighten these down, it would have been put too much pressure onto the roof and wouldn't have been good. That's one side down. And yeah, if you can believe it, I just have 2 bolts here. And they were holding everything up on the roof. And as I'm taking this off, there's going to be one big rubber washer. There's going to be a unistrut shim. And then there's going to be another rubber washer. And then when I go over to the computer, I'll show you the little sandwich of seals that I did. So if you want to recreate what I did here, which I think it's a excellent DIY roof rack. Okay, so this is extremely heavy, so I'm gonna come in from the middle. When I say extremely heavy, it's extremely heavy for one piece of metal that goes on a roof. Obviously, I can pick it up, no problem, but after putting on roof racks, ones that are meant to go on vans, I have found that this is, you want to be lighter because you're going to put more stuff on. But as I'm coming over here, you can see here's a big rubber pad. So let's just go to the computer and I'll show you what kind of thing I came up with as a seal. So what I did here is, this is the sandwich. So this bottom ring seals the hole from the Ford Transit. So this ring goes down, this rubber bushing goes down first. This is the spacer that's needed, and it's filled with RTV sealant. And this is the final one to seal, and that goes in the unistrut. And the spacer is because if I don't have that spacer, the rail would have vibrated on the roof of the van, because it does deflect a little bit. All right, so that part is okay. And I will go ahead and get my denatured alcohol and just let it soak on there. That way it's just gonna actually don't need it to soak. It's doing a pretty good job. We just want to clean this mounting surface so that when we put the AVC rig stuff on here, it does a good job. Okay, let that soak. Just come back over here. Same thing, just peel off this sandwich right there. And again, this is when I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm gonna have to, I got these, I squirted so much of the RTV into there. And you don't really want to do that because you might mess the threads up. I mean, RTV, actually, I won't actually mess the threads up, but if you keep it clean, it makes stuff easier. All right. I'm using a plastic scraper for the ceiling here. If you do end up scratching the top of your roof rack, and you get through like the primer from Ford, you definitely want to put some rust preventative on there. Even if your rooftop kit has some type of rubber seal, just treat it as something you're never going to go back to. So to make sure, just nice and clean. Okay. Now we're going to have to pop off some more mounts, but yeah, we're just doing this step by step. And again, if you guys have questions, let me know. We're going to be using a heat gun to get these other caps off. But before I take the caps off, since I've not installed this particular brand of roof rack before, we'll bring the roof rack pieces and components up on the roof and we'll see how they work before we start taking those caps off. I put so much RTV in there. So we're just taking off the RTV. We're going to keep our plastic scraper up here because we're going to need it to take off these caps. They should come off. We shouldn't need to score them with a razor. But the first thing we're going to do is come over here and look at our parts. So inside this box, we've got our rails. So these are what go from the driver's side to the passenger side, so that direction. And then we've got our side pieces that are the mounts for what the rails mount into. But the first thing we need to check out are these guys to see how many we have of them. Got a hardware bag. So here's the AVC rig, all the hardware. And some more hardware. These brackets. My guess is it's for the fairing. And then we have, looks like we got our main brackets, the rails. Okay. I'm gonna go in here and all right, so AVC Rig has got some really good videos online, and this one is going to be talking about planning everything out to install the roof rack. So it looks like we're taking off 4 parts. So I need to take off 2 more pieces. What I have noticed is their kit does not come with the sealant. So I'm assuming what he's doing is he's got some butyl tape, I think is what he's using. Yeah, so he's using butyl tape to seal these feet onto the roof. So we'll need to get some butyl tape. I have a big old thing of it here somewhere. There it is. Man. Okay, got it. This is what we were looking for. Motorhome putty tape. And essentially what we're doing is just going to lay out these feet that go on the roof. So we'll get our heat gun out. We'll go ahead and take off the plastic caps. There's just two inner ones. So the one right here and the one where he's standing. We'll take that off with the heat gun. We'll clean it up with denatured alcohol, get that all set. We'll get the hardware out, and then we'll start assembling this. And yeah, it should be really straightforward. Let's change this to the van cam. See, I don't think it shows him. Where is he doing it? Okay, yeah, he's just got the putty tape around it. I'd like things to be a little bit neater, but so he's just putting it like tape around there. You can definitely do that. Like I said, sometimes I like to do things a little bit neater. So let me give this a go. There's a couple different products you can use. Obviously today we're using this putty tape, which it's pretty much the standard for RV air conditioners, rooftop AC units, stuff like that. So it's something that everyone uses generally. Like window weld or RTV for that matter is what I actually I prefer to use. Or lap sealant, that too. So here's something you can also use. This Dicor self-leveling lap sealant. Okay, so we're just going to take a big razor and neatly apply this putty tape. I'll show you how I'm assembling this putty tape on here. So one thing with the base, is you really want it to distribute, wrong screen. So if you guys can see up here, we've got our base, and I would put the putty tape just right here, but I'm actually going to go wide with it, and that way I can that way the roof rack can distribute the load on here, because you don't want all the load to be right in this middle section. That's one thing Ford didn't do well, is how they distribute the load from the the feet for roof racks. So pretty much the wider the pad, the better it's going to be. Okay, so that's how I'm doing it. So just run the outside, and then right here on this inside, wherever that bolt's going to go, that is where we're going to move the putty out of the way to place it on the roof. So what we'll do is we're just going to get our hardware out, and we'll just do like a little demo piece. And what we'll be doing is we will be putting lap sealant on top of these. So when these go through here, you can see you need this adjustment because Ford doesn't actually put the holes in the roof evenly. That sounds bizarre, but it's because when the support rails for the roof go in, they're just kind of tacked and glued into place. And if you've ever cut your roof of your Ford Transit or try to put this in, you'll notice that the holes that this bolt go in, sometimes the holes are so far to the side you have to grind it out. We might have to do that today. Yeah, this is not perfect because the Ford roof is not perfect. So we're going to go up here and go ahead and put one of these pieces in. They do give us some anti-seize. I'm not going to use anti-seize. I'm going to use Loctite because one, I'm not planning on taking this roof rack off after I put it on. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Loctite, where did you go? I think the Loctite's in the tool cart. That would make sense. Okay. So we've got red Loctite. My tool organization after finishing the last two vans, I have not recovered from, so my tools are still all over the place. Let's see, I've got the paste Loctite. All right, one last place and then we'll move on. Oh, there it is. Got it. Awesome. Okay, we are ready. Got our bolt and our bracket. You won't have the problem that I have right here. I used so much RTV because I didn't know what I was doing, like I said before, a couple years ago, and I didn't want it to leak. And yeah, so that was the method I used. Okay, we're just gonna put a dab of Loctite on the bottom. Actually, we will do that later. So no Loctite. We're just going to get this in place. We're going to shoot for doing the center of this bracket. And that way, if we center all of them, we'll be closer to having the roof rack even. Now, the reason you want to have this even with the hole is you may run into a situation where if you adjust the roof rack too far left or too far right and you put solar panels flanking the max fan, sometimes you only have about a 1/4 inch on each side of the max fan, and if you move it too close to it, the max fan, either it'll expand and warp over time or it'll start rubbing, and you don't want it to do that. So you need to make sure that the whole entire roof rack is as center as possible. Because it's not about these brackets, it's how the solar panels are going to interact with your max fan. If you get those, even the 50-watt Renogy ones will fit. However, you want to have it just as even as possible. That's the point. So what I'm doing is I've got the hole here on the roof, or where my bolt goes in, and I'm just centering it on the bolt, or where the bolt is going to go. And I'm just loosely putting this in here because I don't know if, I'm not sure if I'm going to need to adjust this. What I mean by that is I don't know how accurate AVC rig is to these holes, and I'm assuming I'm going to need some play this way. So I'm just lightly putting this on here, so if I needed to lift this up and move it to adjust it, I can. So we got one. Next thing we're going to do is take the heat gun and take this neck other cap off. Okay, we got lucky on this hole. We don't have to Dremel the sides of it out. And we'll So these are these little plastic caps you're going to pull off. If you saw what I did earlier, I just took a little thing, I just kind of broke the paint seal around the edge of it. You don't have to do that. I just did it to just a little extra step. All right, moving on to the next part. Now there is a technique that I show in the Unaka roof rack video. I got pretty good at it, but basically what I was doing is after I scored this, I would come back in and I guess I should have watched my own video, but there's a way you can heat this just enough to where it actually, if you heat it too long, it melts the seal and it gets too gooey. But if you heat it just right, you're going to be able to, it peels off almost like in one piece with the adhesive. Okay, let's see if that was, let's see, is that what did it? My van is an older van, so, okay, yep, that was it. So see, I just heated it just for a second, and look at that. Like 98% of the adhesive came off. So, not bad. Okay, and this one back here is, I already took it off, but it just needs to be cleaned up. All right, so this one we will have to grind. Yeah, we might take a file to that one. Okay. The Dremel. Where's the Dremel? So I'm actually going to use a rat tail file first because I don't think this one is too much in the way. So this is what one of those looks like. File like that. My grandpa did that, so it is a valve stem in the bottom. And the bottom of it. Okay, here's the Dremel. Excellent. Okay. Is it charged? Okay, good. All right. change it up. We're gonna use Dremel. So right here, this is what bit we're using. That one's good. That one's good. All right, so this side is gonna be our first side that we put our railing on. So next step, we're gonna come back over here and we're going to work on these plates really quick. Just get some of this tape. So this is my van, so I'm taking a chance on this tape. I know a lot of people use this everywhere in the industry. I think this is technically butyl tape. So I don't want to try it on a customer van, so I'm going to try it on my van. I don't see why it would not work, but just feels kind of like old school RV tech. Flatline Vanco and Unaka, they have an integrated foam pad that is applied to this and seals it. So remember, if you guys have any questions, I'm here during this whole live stream to answer any van build related questions. The problem with this butyl tape is I get a little OCD with it. Probably does not matter that much that it's perfect, but again, we're just lightly laying these brackets on here because we don't know how they're going to line up to the rail. I'm pretty sure these are steel brackets, they're not aluminum. So through the install process, just make sure you don't nick them or drop them and create a spot where they can start to rust. They feel like they're powder coated pretty well. Okay. All right, so I've got 2 plates that don't. Okay, so these are going. These are the next one up. So these are different. So we got these, got these 2. This is the one I'm gonna put on the roof next. As far as roof rack maintenance goes, I got a couple scratches on here. Not too worried about it, but periodically you'll just want to go up and check your roof. You know, if there's a little bit of rust spots, just preventatively hit it with some, you know, rust preventative, like a little Q-tip or something like that. Even like a paint pen, like an auto scratch dent fix pin. Okay, that's how I got that one. You guys can see. Okay, so this one is the one that's different. So this one's different because this is the connector piece. Okay. Okay, so I just need to do a little squirt of this gray on here. Just like that. Does not have to be perfect. So we'll let that dry. We'll come back to this plate. So let's go to this one. Get it cut out. How we doing on the live stream, guys? You got any questions? Let me know. So as I put this on there, I'm just lightly pressing it on and making like a little indent. And that's giving me like a line to where I can see where I need to cut it. And this one's going to be the front piece. Okay, so this one's going to go right up here. Pull out my big glob of RTV. All right, that's good. This is all cleaned up. Just center that. Like that. Okay. Okay, we just want this one pretty light. Excellent. Let's go ahead and take this stuff off the roof. We don't need it. Okay, let's get this box a little better organized. We're going to take out the cross members, just stack them up behind here. These cross members are powder coated aluminum, which is really nice. I think they're 10 series 8020. There's some other stuff I want to mount to the roof. later. We'll do that in a separate video. I'm pretty happy this is packed really well. So here is one back side. So this fin coming up, that little tail coming up like that, that will be supposed to be the back side here. See how much, make sure I don't scratch the van up too much. And let's look at let's check out our hardware we got. So let's get we got that piece. This looks like our front piece. Okay, the skinny curved piece, pretty sure is the front. Oh man, that's so nice. That is very nice. That was the problem that I had before, is I kept searching around for one that had some type of a contour. Okay, for the roof. And then this looks like the fairing. I really like metal fairings, or aluminum ones, right here, because they don't expand and contract with the changing temperature. If you get one that's plastic, it expands and contracts at a weird interval, or weird rate, and it just looks weird. Okay, so these big chunky ones, I think, are going to be used for 2A, 2B, 4. Okay, so this little baggie, should be reserved for the fairing. That is my gut reaction. And then these are the brackets for the fairing. This is for the 80/20 rails, this next part. Set that aside. So what we have left are these two bags here. And they make sense for being the mounting for the rails. So go ahead and get some hardware out of them. While we're at it, we'll get a wrench. What size are these? Okay, cool. So we already got our ratchet set. We got a 1/2 inch. So now we just need to get an Allen key for whatever this is. I don't think it's metric, but it might be. Okay, it's not metric. What is this? It is 3/16. I've got a 1 foot 3/16 Allen key, and that thing is just going to be in my way. So let me see if I can find a smaller one. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, let's start assembling this. We've got a couple washers, so let's get get 4 washers, 2 bolts, a ratchet, and hop up on top here. Doing pretty good with hole alignment. We're going to find out when that third bracket up there gets put on if anything weird is going to happen. So I'm just going to keep this loose, just like that. Okay, pretty loose. Now he's got, AVC Rig's got left to right adjustment on here, so we might be good to where we actually don't have to move our pads. We might not have to move them. Okay, so see we've got forward and back and up and down adjustment. Let's keep it like that until we finish this front part. Because in my experience, this is what affects solar panel placement. And now obviously if it's really only affects the solar panels if you're right on the edge of a you know, like a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch on the middle with a max fan, but that still can be an issue, so. Okay. And then we'll come back here, put just a little bit of Loctite on it. And then we'll seal this up with some black lap sealant. All right, so that looks pretty good. This is lining up. This is lining up excellent, really good. Even bring it forward just a little bit. And then this one looks like same thing. I was actually looking forward to these touching. Look like that's the way they work. Let's go ahead and get some more bolts and nuts. I'll go ahead and move the camera so you guys can see a little bit better. This is wild. It goes all the way, it goes a foot past my door jamb, which is excellent. Means there's a ton of area up here to mount solar panels. Those will kind of come together. I'm gonna try to have these touch as much as possible, only because it's more of a visual thing for me. I don't like to have a gap up here. Okay, so for this one, I may need to pick this pad up just a little bit, move it back just a hair. All right, okay, that's good. Yeah, so one thing you can do is just kind of visually look to see how this is going. It looks like this pad needs to be, so I'm just looking at the body line. Everything looks good. This pad right here looks like it's, I need to adjust it backwards. There you go. Okay. All right, that's perfect. I'm tightening this one down because this joint right here, I need it to not move because it's pretty much how I have this lined up the way I want it. So I'm pulling this back one forward all the way. Then I'm taking this front one and I'm pushing it all the way back. But at the same time, I'm gonna lift it up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm coming back and loosening the back because it actually needs to go up. Somehow, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to get a clamp to hold that even. It's kind of weird. Yeah, the whole roof rack's got an angle to it. The front looks odd. Huh. So I'm gonna keep these loose until I get the other side on. This thing's just kind of, it does go, it's higher in the back and then angles towards the front, which is pretty cool, but trying to make sure that it's even off the bottom here. All right, I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to lift it up, so up and forward. So this one's up and forward, and then I'm going to go to the very back and lift it up too. Okay, yeah, that seems to be the way it wants to settle in. Doesn't have to be perfect, but okay. That's pretty good for now. Also, I am putting an awning on this side, and having this, even at 1/8 to 1/4 inch, just at its highest peak, actually is a benefit to you when you actually start to install that. And the reason is, Fiamma has these lock nuts that go to hold the awning in place, are these sheet metal self-tapping screws. They're really skinny, and so the higher that this can be up, it's easier to get those in there. And I mean, even a 1/4 inch extra space is huge when you go to do that awning, because the side lip of the van messes with that. Okay, there we go. So the back side looks really good. Front looks kind of warped, but it's by itself. It's just stinging out like straight out, so it's actually fine. It's no problem. Okay, what is next here? All right, might take a pause. This has been pretty long. I need to go grab some food. Doesn't look like you guys have any questions, so we might just take a break for now. We'll come back, we'll have these cross pieces and the front fairing put on, and then you guys can come back with your questions. And don't forget, if you guys haven't checked out, check out the new camper van conversion blueprints, the new DIY camper van course that I put together. If you guys are interested, it goes through a ton of things for helping you get started with your van, choosing your van, going over design and layout, off-grid power system design, fresh and gray water storage. This also includes how to do plumbing in the van, insulation, sound dampening. We talk about exterior upgrades, and you get access to our private online community, which is the forum, which is super cool. It's right here. Click on forum, And if you get into the course, you can ask me questions directly in the forum and I will give you answers. If you're not in the course, you can see what has been answered, but you won't actually get to ask me questions directly. So check out that. Again, it is the DIY camper van conversion blueprint. Click Access for $50. Here's the course. When you hop in the course, it'll look a little bit like this. There's modules over here on the left side, and each of these lectures is exclusive to the course. So these are videos that are not anywhere else on the internet. These are all exclusive to the course. And then each one of these has a PowerPoint that is included with it, so for detailed notes. And then below it, there's additional resources. For example, this is another video exclusive to the course that has not been uploaded. So this is a private video. It's an inspect. I'm inspecting a van before buying. So I take you through a whole process of inspecting a van to make sure that it's worthy of purchasing. If you want to see what that is in the course exclusively. And then, for example, off-grid power system design, there's a ton of resources here. So we go everything from shore power plug inlets, designing a simple solar power system, crimping, cables, and then there's some additional resources that have just been organized and put in the course for easy access that have been on the channel. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, check it out. You can get it vanbuilderhq.com. Just go up here where it says course, and you can get it. But if you're looking for some additional help parts-wise, check out our free DIY van build cheat sheet. It's got over 250 curated items. It's pretty much an Excel sheet of the last 3 years of my Amazon purchases rolled into one document that you guys can get for free. Put your name and email address, it'll send it right to you. I think it'll help you out as well. But yep, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'll grab some food, get prepped for the next one, and finish up this, wrap this roof rack install today. I'll wrap up the install. Bring your questions for the next live stream, and we'll see you guys in the next video.